Does anyone have a question? Does anyone have a question? Well, the last few days, no questions. There's only one answer really, and that's to live with an open heart, to love your life, to understand that each and every one of us are born here to be happy people, be connected with spirit. Um, Even people that don't believe in God and are atheists, they breathe. And if you breathe, then you truly are part of the support of the universe. You're a living entity. You inhale and you take in life. You exhale and you let go of a part of yourself. And it really doesn't matter what the mind believes. I mean, everything is part of the sacredness of spirituality, spiritual energy. People that believe, they don't believe, it's all in the mind. And all of that changes anyway as people grow and go through life. But the real answer is an open heart. It's love. It's being able to be happy, be able to serve a higher energy in your life. But do people understand that? Most people don't, but it doesn't matter. Understand there's this incredible thing called reincarnation. And if you have to have 5,000 lives before you begin to understand that you breathe, and breathing is sacred. So it takes 5,000 lives. In terms of cosmic time and energy, it's a blinking of an eye. Does anyone have a question you would like to?
Stuart, this is Bob Sink. I have a question.
This one?
I've not held this new book in my hands yet, and but just the way that you are speaking about it and your enthusiasm. I mean, I've watched you go through over a dozen books, and I mean this sounds like a plug, but there's something different about this book that's 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 an expression of you that is different from the rest of these books.
Tell you what it is, Bo. This book is a culmination of a lifetime's work. It brings together in the simplest terms. I mean, the thing is written very simply, but very profoundly. And it brings together a lifetime of inner work. And that lifetime of inner work, brought me to the place where I not understood, but became a living reality that, Kundalini and Tantra, it all works together. It's all part of the flow, the evolution of consciousness, the evolution of the soul. And this book, I had a talk with somebody in the Metropolitan Museum. I'm trying to set up an appointment with one of the curators to try to get him to do an introduction to this book. And at first, then I began to listen to what I was talking. The guy said, okay, just send me photographs, send me, and I'll show it to the curator. He's not here right now. But it's a culmination of a lifetime's work. It's not just writing a book. You can write a book by numbers. It's just pure bullshit. Most books written today are terribly uninteresting. But it's a book that truly brings together a lifetime of inner work. And it not only brings it together through the spiritual thing, but I spent almost 30 years of my life being an art dealer. And to bring together Hindu and Buddhist, you know, Christian, Renaissance Christian art, Islamic, and Jain, and have so many different cultures and religions that ultimately every single painting and sculpture in this book is about the transformation and the change that goes on in human beings that experience higher energy in the universe. It's like I wrote the guy at the Met. I said, it's art touches on the untouchable. Kundalini meditation also touches on the untouchable. And that's why I'm excited about it. And it came and it's so beautiful. It's a beautiful book. Totally beautiful book. I'm sure I don't know if I'm going to write another book after this. I don't know if I want to write another book, frankly. I'm really tired of it. But this one is a good way to culminate a lifetime's experience. Look at it. It's beautiful. Chakra Samvara and his Shakti with Tantra by Stuart Perrin. Tantra by God, I couldn't write that. So you're right, look, I only have one copy of it, and I got to bring it around to agents and publishers and curators and try to get somebody to do an introduction to it. If anybody knows anyone who's fairly important in the spiritual field, I'm looking for somebody like that. I sent it to somebody today. I don't know what the response is going to be. But, there's something about doing something like this, it's like a fulfillment of a dream. It's almost a dream I never had because I never knew I was going to write a book like this, you know? But I think it not only helped me grow and transform me as a person, but I think when people read it and see what's in the book, it's going to help them. And it's a service, one of my services to God, to human beings. And so we'll see what happens. Publishing is not easy. I have so much resistance to doing this part of it. I never resistance to writing the book. But, it has to find its life in the world. Anyway, I appreciate you, asking this, Bob, because this is a very important project in my life. It's a project that really brought together literally 50 years of study went into writing. And even you said when you were reading these things online, it's the best writing I've ever done. In fact, that even inspired me to make a book. You telling me that. So I acknowledge you in the book. Yeah. But I think every human being should have a vision in life. They should have something extraordinary they want to do with their lives, not just that whole thing in Shakespeare, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace, from day to day until the last syllable. It shouldn't be that way. There should be a dream, a vision, something that motivates us as human beings to do extraordinary things in life. Otherwise, it's all it just becomes mundane and boring and day to day, and But having that vision, opening those areas in oneself that you can tap a creative energy that gives you a vision like that. Could be anything. Could be cooking, it could be, something, teaching, but something that truly motivates a human being to do the extraordinary. And the extraordinary is not, you know, to me anyway, is not, you know, running Amazon. I think it is madness, you know? And, you don't want to hurt other people. You don't want to take people's livelihoods away. You want to uplift people. You want to uplift the world. You give the world some kind of purpose that most of our economics doesn't give it. It just really rips people apart. And that comes through love. It comes through an open heart, through compassion, through building a chakra system that's strong enough to live that way. I always wanted that when I was younger. I never knew how to get there until I learned from Rudy. I mean, even that place that I built in Texas, something extraordinary, you know? And but then I knew I had to leave because it would have been the end of my life. I would have never written this book if I stayed there. I needed all that experience I had in life to be able to do this.
Mhm.
Anyway, I believe honestly that kind of vision is in every human being. The only thing that's missing is not people don't tap it. They accept the mundane, the day to day, almost monotonous way of living. I'm not saying all of you do that, but that's what most people accept. Then it becomes like T.S. Eliot. I grow old, I grow old. Where the bottoms of my trousers rolled. Shall I part my hair behind? Do I dare to eat a peach? Who the hell wants to live life daring to eat a peach? I mean, I hope it's clear what I'm talking about. And it came from Bob's question about this book, where this book came from. When I read through it, it still needs, yeah, maybe about 3% of editing, minor stuff, a comma, an ellipsis, a change of one sentence, another word, but it's there. And I read it and I don't believe I even wrote this thing. I look at this thing, I said, my God, because I didn't, it came through. I was open enough to allow it to come through. One thing I have that I developed is a certain craft for writing, certain use of words and rhythm and language. And well, the rest of it is just inspiration. I'm sure when Bach finished the B minor mass, he probably shrugged his shoulders and said, who wrote this? who composed it. Just a vehicle through which the music flowed, became this D minor mass. Does anyone have a question? And the wonderful thing about the book is there's, photos of wonderful Renaissance Christian art, Islamic Sufi stuff. My friend Morey's paintings, which were very Kabbalistic, Jewish mysticism. I wanted all of it there. I didn't want it just to be Hindu Buddhist, because the ultimate goal of every religion is the transformation of humanity into a state of enlightenment. Every religion, the ultimate goal is a state of enlightenment, oneness with God. So we'll see what happens. Again, publishing it's a rough. Don't ever write a book. Because writing a book is great. Getting it published is really a pain in the ass. But if it's going to find its way in the world, it has to go through that pain in the ass in order to find its way in the world. Does anyone have a question? I mean, is it clear what I'm talking about? I hope so, So I'm trying, the words that come out are just not only testing me, it's testing everybody,
Mm.
It's really what it's for, to test. Not in a bad way, not in a way, an imperious way, but hey, my purpose is to uplift every single person that attends my classes. That's my purpose. They can find their creative flow. That's the purpose of this meditation. Not for me to be a guru. I mean, what a bore. That people coming around kissing my feet and sucking up to me then, and I know in India, I knew, these swamis and, old people would come up, Baba, when am I going to get married? Baba, when am I going to make money? Baba, when am I going to, Nick Jananda got just fed up with it because he used to throw shoes at people. you know, but uplifting people through the transmission of Shakti, because people truly, deeply want to build a chakra system that will give them a spiritual life. There could be no greater job on the earth. Does anyone have a question? Okay. There'll be a meditation on what is today? Today's Monday. I don't know what the day is anymore. Today's Monday. There'll be meditation on Wednesday. And we're looking forward to seeing everyone. God bless you all. Thank you. As I say 100 million times, and you're probably sick of it already, your presence here really makes me work on myself. I need to really work on myself. Even after 50 years of working on myself, I still need to work. I haven't arrived yet. Your presence here is a blessing. And it forces me to do that. Necessity requires that I give the deepest thing I can possibly give to each and every one of you. So all I have is gratitude for each and every one of you, and God bless you all. There'll be a class on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Oh,
All right,
Good.
Stuart, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you.
You inspired. Thank you.
And I